Hello and welcome to week 16 of our NFL League Picks series. My name is Chris, and join with me is my longtime friend, Jason.
Hey, Chrissy. Good to be alive. Always good to be here talking to you. And yeah, we've got some interesting results from week 15. Sure, you and I are both gonna have some stuff to say about our respective teams, right?
Most assuredly.
And that was certainly a frustration. Um, Honestly, though, like the biggest thing that was just ruining my ability to enjoy football this last Sunday. Um, I'm sure you heard about it. Was the attack on Bondi Beach in Australia?
Of course.
And yeah, and it blows my mind that people can hate any type of. I know this, and I promise we will get into some juicy football content. But I just got to talk about this for 1 minute. Because the way I see it, it doesn't even matter how much you irrationally hate a group. You don't know the people that you're hurting if you're doing something like this. I mean, even if a person belongs to a religion, a race, a nationality, any kind of group that you hate, you know nothing about the people that you're hurting if you're going to do something like this. You don't have a right to kill them. You don't have a right to ruin their life or shout terrible things at them. You do that, you're the villain. And I just wanted to for all 20 people out there, right, that are listening to this. Um,
Sometimes 30.
it might be 30. I mean, we're working hard, right? Um, most of them already know this, right? But if even one person just hears this and thinks twice, here's my thought on it. I don't condone violence at all, but if you're choosing to commit some type of violence, right? Make damn sure that you know the name of the person that you're gonna hurt and can point out to some kind of specific, really evil thing that they've done, right? Being a member of a demographic group that is not that action, you're never justified for doing something like what happened there. And I always want to just sit down and enjoy football on Sunday, but man, it really hurt to try and like smile and have a good time seeing that something that horrible happened just cause somebody hated a group, hated a religion, whatever. So I just wanted to get that off my chest before we start.
All right. After that, let's get into our week 15 recap, starting with our picks from last week. Old Chrissy went 8-8, which is honestly one of my better performances in a while.
Oof.
And then Jason went 9-7. I could not stop the bleeding. I hemorrhaged one more game, and now I am at 133-91. And Jason, with now a 13-game lead over me, is now 146-79.
Yeah, this is I think I've already clinched the playoffs, Chrissy. Um this is a pretty insurmountable lead. Now, the one chance that you will have, we will, unlike last season, be picking the playoff games every week, and those are going to be worth more points. So that'll give you a snowball's chance in hell to catch up to me.
That's all I need.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of your awful picks.
All right, first up Thursday night, we got the Bucks being upset by the Falcons, and this division's getting really close at the top. And Baker's on quite a bit of a decline here. On the bright side, my boy Kirk had the best game of the season, so wasn't all bad.
Yeah, I think Atlanta is looking better and better. You're right. We came into the season with probably middling hopes for them, and that they couldn't even match those hopes. But yeah, the last few weeks they've been starting to play better football. Unfortunately, yeah, the Bucks offense really has come back to earth, and it's weird that they were playing so injured and still playing so well earlier, and just kind of not keeping up that pace. So this was one that surprised both of us this week.
Yeah, I think it's way more of a story of this Bucks collapse than the Falcons overperforming. I think the Bucks have lost like 5 of their last 4 now after starting like
Five of their last four.
yeah, well, almost that bad. 4 of their last 5 is what I meant to
Yeah,
say. Not much better, not much less bad than that.
I think the Raiders might find a way to lose 5 out of 4.
But I don't think Baker's healthy. But obviously the Bucks are supposed to be on an upward trajectory. So this is definitely disappointing.
Absolutely. Let's try to move through this first half because we're going to have a lot to say about Dallas and Miami, aren't we?
Definitely. And then yeah, I picked the Browns because I'm a fool. I thought their defense might step up. I don't know if Myles Garrett even got a sack in this game, let alone the 3.5 or 4.5 he needed to clinch the record. He'll probably still get it later in the season. But yeah, the Browns just got annihilated in this game. And Mr. Shador Sanders comes back down to earth after a really good game last week. Everyone's blowing so much smoke up this guy's ass. But really, just the Bears being able to put up this many points on the Browns is pretty encouraging.
Yeah, the Bears definitely look more consistent on offense. They've been having more and more drives that are extended and don't need to start at the opponent's 38. This was Shadur's worst game, like you said. He still has a lot of room to grow, right? He's a rookie who's played 3 games in the NFL now. I still think he's going to be good. But yeah, I think the Bears looking consistent on offense is kind of the best story we can get from this. Uh, Chrissy, how the hell did you pick the Browns in this one?
Desperation, obviously. I was like, Caleb. I don't think Caleb is like great. He's good, and this was one of his better games as a starter. But I just thought the Browns' defense could be enough to trip them up and stuff. But I was
Really
wrong, man.
wasn't. Yeah.
I was wrong.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's move
Very
on
wrong.
to Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago these teams played and it was a one-sided affair, except it was the Bengals who came out on top, and Lamar played like shit. But now in a shutout, it's the complete opposite, and this is Lamar's best game since he came back from injury, and it's not particularly close because he's been playing absolutely horrific the last like month.
Bring back Joe Flacco.
And this, I believe, officially eliminates the Bengals because their division is so poor. They actually had a chance still.
Yeah, I mean that's insane to think that a team this bad was still alive in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
talk about another one of those teams later.
oh yeah, we'll be talking about another one.
Or two.
Well, one of those 2 teams is still
Or
alive
three.
somehow. Yeah. But yeah, also notable, Derrick Henry, 100 yards on 11 carries, and his long was only 29, so it wasn't like that all came on one carry. I mean, you even take out that one great 29-yard run, he still had 71 yards on 10 carries, 7 yard per carry average outside of his best. Um,
The last couple of weeks, I've
yeah.
been hearing some very odd, like, rumblings of Joe Burrow might not even want to stay with the Bengals uh,
Well,
after these,
after
like,
this
last
game,
three
the Bengals
seasons.
might not want to stay with Joe Burrow.
I don't think it would go that way. But he
Yeah,
might
I
be
mean,
able to.
we know he's very good. Obviously, he's coming back from injury, and it can take a while to get acclimated or just feel good and get all your physical ability back. So,
Then next up, we've
uh,
got a surprisingly offensive performance from the Texans. I don't think they put up this many points in the last 2 years, and they're just absolutely all over the Cardinals. And now they think they've won 6 or 7 straight, and they look playoff bound.
yeah,
Which is
it's incredible. I do think they had a good offensive performance last week, but it was really like the first one of the season. Um, yeah, this is really impressive by Houston. I'll talk about where I've got them in a moment, in a few games from now. But I do actually have them as one of the best teams in the league. And yeah, we've got Nico Collins, who I looked up and I found for the first time. That is not his name; it's a nickname. He's actually Dominique Collins. averaging 100 yards per game, both over the last 3 games and over the last 6 games. So their offense is really starting to come together more, even in the lack of Tank Dell. It's cool. And yeah, their defense is killer.
Yep. And then next up, we have easily the best game of Trevor Lawrence's pathetic career. 6 total touchdowns.
Yep.
I make fun of this guy all the time, but I can't make fun of him this game, that's for sure. Just lit up the Jets. It doesn't even matter that he's playing against the Jets. For him, it's just like an absolute stellar performance because he just lives and breathes mediocrity.
Yeah, we disagree, and I think he's a quite good quarterback. Not a great one, but definitely a good one. So I think you're always underrating him, but yeah, 380 total yards, 6 touchdowns against a supposedly great defense. Look, I think it's time we stop believing the Jets are good at anything. Okay, everyone's like, oh yeah, maybe they don't have a passing game, but they have good rushing, they have, good defense. Let's stop believing the Jets are good at anything. We're living off the fumes of the 2010s. The Jets suck. The Jets suck. The Jets suck. Okay, I think I've said it enough times.
All right, next up, we've got the Chargers sweeping the Chiefs for the second time now in the division, and the Chiefs are officially eliminated from playoff contention with this loss, and I couldn't be happier. But then, of course, the what do you call that?
The ACL sprain of your most hated quarterback for some reason, Patrick Mahomes.
The cream de la creme of this game. It's like the last
Yeah.
2 minutes of the game, maybe even less.
The cherry on top for you.
Can't really remember the play it happened on. I just remember he was on the ground, kind of in like the fetal position, like ee-ah-ooh, bouncing around a bit. And yeah, that's it for old Patrick for the rest of the season. I was just saying in the car that same day that maybe it could happen after they are eliminated in the first meaningless game, but this was just as good.
Man, you were.
I had my voodoo dolls.
The
Yeah,
celebration
everything.
meal that you had.
Me, my
after,
dogs. Yeah, that's right. Everything.
Yeah. I was hoping you would add foods to the meal that began with A, C, and L, but no. I personally
That's
feel
clever.
awful for Holmes. I hope he recovers. And yeah, I think that the Chargers are a very good team with very good uniforms. I could say a lot more, but let me cede the rest of my time on this one to you, because you know, of all the bad things that have happened to teams that you like, this is probably your finest moment in the NFL this season, seeing this happen. So let me just, I'll let you vamp a little bit if you want.
For me personally, this is the finest moment, but as the relationship between you and me, there is a greater moment down below.
Oh no.
I'm not as all in on the. I still think the Chargers are frauds. To be honest, I think they're winning in spite of of Justin Herbert, not because of Justin Herbert. And I expect them to be one and done in the playoffs.
It's possible they'll be one and done. But I think they're a very good team who also have a shot to be going very.
And for the sake of not being overly ghoulish, I won't compliment. Yeah. I won't speak too much more about this game.
All right. Let's move on to Buffalo, New England. This was the game of the week, sir.
Definitely. It was absolute criminal that this wasn't in like the national time slot. Because I would have picked this over the 2 morning. Well, actually, I'm sorry. The morning game I did watch was the Chiefs and the Chargers, so I take that back. But if I could have watched both of them, that would have been amazing. Because this was just a textbook Josh Allen game for the ages. They went down 21-0, and then roared back with 5 touchdown drives straight from the end of the first half to the rest of the game. And I guess the Patriots, maybe you could say they were due for a loss, but now the division still hasn't been clinched by the Patriots. They're probably still going to take it just because they're scheduled, but yeah. Right. Now with Mahomes out of the playoffs, Lamar might be out of the playoffs, Joe Burrow's out of the playoffs. the stars, I think, are truly going to align for the Bills this postseason, man.
So yeah, I mean, Josh Allen was insane. Don't get me wrong, insane. Every time it looked like the Patriots might get him, just scrambled, hit people on the run. Their line did play pretty good in general. And I don't even think that the Patriots played badly in the second half. For me, this was more of a superstar heroic comeback by the Bills, especially Allen, but really the whole team, offensively, defensively, than it was a collapse by the Patriots. And that's not something you usually hear when a team gets 21 points ahead in the game. I think the Patriots were playing fine. I think the Bills were just in superstar mode. Okay, it
Yeah.
was like NBA Jam, and like every ball that he would throw would just have like a trail of fire behind it.
All right.
Yeah, I think these are both top five teams personally. I've got LA and Seattle as my top two. I've got probably New England on top of Buffalo as like the 3 and 4 teams in the league, and I've got the Chargers right below them at 5.
I would put the Bills at number one just because in the
Mm-hmm.
AFC side of the playoffs, they're going to have by far like the most experienced quarterback. Whereas with them, you're going to have the other journeymen are going to be Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. That's such an order of magnitude downward. And then the
Uh-huh.
other guys that are going to be in are going to be Drake May and Bo Nix.
Oh,
And
Nick.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like I think Josh I think he should just be surfing to the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't make the Super Bowl this season, I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked. You know.
yeah. Oh, there are a lot of questions asked about the Bills in the '90s too, weren't there?
Well, they made the Super
Um,
Bowl.
they made the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and they didn't win it.
Yeah. Well, the shit, man. This I don't care. Jim Kelly is not Josh Allen, man.
I
Josh
don't
Allen
think.
is God.
Yeah. I'll bet you a pizza on it if you want. I don't think the Bills are going to the Super
You're already going to owe me a pizza when the Bills get further than the Eagles.
I am, and I'll bet you a second. We need double or nothing the pizza.
I'm not giving up my one already rock solid pizza for another pizza.
Okay. So we don't have to do it, but no.
I want that Papa
Truthfully,
John's.
I do not. I could very well be wrong, right? The Buffalo Bills are an excellent football team, and Josh Allen, probably the best quarterback in the league this year, right?
I think he's been the best quarterback for the last 3 years.
Okay.
I didn't say he had the best
Actually,
career.
you could actually say Stafford as well
I
this
didn't think
year.
he has the best career. I think he has physically been the best quarterback the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, just like Allen, and he makes such smart, creative plays sometimes, and then sometimes he just throws absolute head scratchers,
Yeah,
especially.
but those head scratchers are like 10% of the time. You know.
I know, but like that 10% is like a big weight, right, on actually being able to beat the really good teams who don't make those mistakes and make the Super Bowl. That's why I don't think they're making it, and I do really like what I see from May. Um, but without a question, they are insanely good. Um, And I've got Denver and Houston right below the Chargers, kind of rounding out the top 7. I think they're better than Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Chicago. I actually think Houston, with how they're looking now and just how incredibly good their defense is, could be like an AFC shocker.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.
yeah, but yeah, Patriots and the Bills both just absolutely the class of the AFC in my opinion. And yeah, so cool to watch these two teams play each other. I kind of regret that I was watching Red Zone in the 1 o'clock hour rather than just watching this one game.
You got this
But
game in your area?
I've got every game. I've got every game. I don't need to just see the local
Oh,
games.
you got like the package thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I just watch what YouTube TV gives me, and then
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, this was great game. Comeback for the ages. I believe that New England still has the tiebreaker because of divisional record. They're 1-1 head to head.
Yeah, because the Bills dropped a game to the Dolphins
I know. I
somehow.
know. That could mean everything.
That'll probably cost them. You're absolutely right.
All right, so that's enough talking about them. But yeah, just two great teams that were a pleasure to watch.
We can make up some time by skipping this next game of no consequence. Toilet Bowl 15. The Redskins almost. The Redskins
You
came
know,
out
you
on.
almost said it right.
The Redskins came out on top. I
Commanders destroyed the
I
Giants.
don't even know if Mariota or Daniels even played in this game.
The thing that is just so Washington, though, right? Not only does this have absolutely no bearing on any type of playoff hopes, or even ruining the Giants' playoff hopes, because they had none either. But now, not only do they lose a great draft pick, the Commanders, by throwing the games and give that draft pick to a division rival, they also are going to have a harder schedule next year because they're going to be third in their division instead of fourth. It's just the most Washington thing that you could do.
Yeah, I'm not in on the we should tank games just for the next draft. I think that's kind of a bad look.
I hate when teams do that too. I don't respect it one bit. But I really wish that the NFL would stop encouraging it with the way that they do the drafting and whatever. I think that at the very least, like maybe the bottom 6 to 8 teams should all just be entered in a lottery.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd have to make a new video about that. It's a lot to think about.
All right, we could do that another time. But
And then we got this next game where I was clearly smoking some powerful dank, picking the Raiders in
oh
this one.
man,
I would
yeah.
say it was even more of a desperation pick than the Browns because at least they have a great defense. But then, in a feel-good game for Eagles everywhere, they finally end their 3 or 4 game losing streak by taking a dump on the Raiders.
What was it? 31-0.
Yep, 31-0.
Yeah, like the Raiders are clearly the worst team in the league. I think it's time to stop pointing that finger at the Titans. They don't deserve it. The Raiders deserve it.
We can we can agree that it's tied between the Raiders and the Titans.
I can't agree with that. If you're gonna say that if you're gonna say that I'm smoking something too, whatever, that's fine. But I think the Raiders are so far and away the worst team. Look, they made Philly's offense look good. That's all I gotta say.
I can think of like 3 of the Titans that people actually take in fantasy. I can only think of, or I mean, the 3 of the Raiders that people take in fantasy. I can only think of like one Titan player that people take in fantasy.
Well, look, the
So
people taking Ashton were delusional,
that was me.
and
Yep.
yeah, and even if you have more fantasy relevant players on the Raiders, that's often because they're getting points in garbage time. They're a garbage team. Um, I like to trace it back to how John Gruden ruined the franchise, but either way, the Raiders absolutely stink. I don't think it's fair to put the Browns, the Titans, even the Jets, even the Saints down in the Raiders FF tier.
No, that's why I'm saying they're
One F isn't
only
good enough for them.
they're only tied with the Titans. I think all those other teams you mentioned are better than both teams.
Yeah, I think the Titans they're certainly not a good team. At least they can move the football. The Raiders are pathetic.
All right, enough of that race to the bottom. We got the
Hmm.
afternoon game. This one I did see because I was building some patio furniture. We got the Packers playing the Broncos at home, and I don't know who we both picked for this game. I think.
You had this one right.
Okay, good. Also, I was right
Yeah.
about the Bills game because he picked the Patriots.
Yep. Certainly, I was feeling so good in that 1 o'clock hour. I'm like, I'm about to 4-0 this fool,
There were
and then Josh
seven
Allen
contested
carried your
games,
ass to a win.
7 contested picks this week. I went 3-4. If I wasn't so stupid, I would have at least went up by 1 this week with the Browns and the Raiders.
That's
Got too
fair.
cute
Yeah,
for my own good.
you did.
Anyway, so this was definitely a great game here. I honestly thought the Packers would win this, and I think I only picked the Broncos because you picked the Packers. But
Yeah,
I believe
Denver
the
keeps winning. Denver keeps
yeah.
winning close. And then I think the question is, right? Are they legitimately like one of the best teams in the league? The record certainly says so. Or are they the Minnesota Vikings from a year or two ago?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos were actually underdogs in this game at home. and that just goes to
Mm-hmm.
show how much people believe in the Packers
Are they really?
and don't believe in Bo Nix. But the last few games, Bo Nix has actually been really on fire compared to the much of the rest of the
Their
season,
offense
where
was very good here, yeah.
he was very underwhelming earlier in the year. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Broncos. I kind of expect you can't have everyone go one and done, but I kind of expect the Broncos, Patriots, or
Somebody has to win the playoff
yeah,
games in the
but
AFC.
I expect two of the three between the Broncos, Chargers, and the Patriots to go one and done. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, if if New England and Buffalo, I mean, probably one of those teams. Well, if Denver ends up being the one seed, right, and if New England and Buffalo kind of power out the other teams, it is possible that Denver, Houston, and Los Angeles will all be one and done.
well, even if the Broncos get the one seed, I still think they're
Yeah.
going to be one and done in the divisional round instead of the wild card round.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's actually that's the most likely way for it to happen. I don't think if they fall and hit the 2 seed, I don't think they're losing to a 7 seed. I think they're a good team. Um, yeah, and I do think that they're not quite as good as their record, but I'm willing to be proven wrong.
All
All right,
right,
next
next
we've
up,
got yeah.
I had the choice between watching this game and the Broncos game. It was a very tough choice, but the Broncos are my fantasy defense, so I went with those.
Okay.
But this was obviously a barn burner of the game. The Lions were up at one point, and then they just kind of got shut down towards the last quarter of the game, and the Rams kind of roared back with like 15 or something unanswered points towards the end. This was probably an honestly super exciting game, and
Yeah.
really just showcases just how good the Rams offense is.
Just a really good game of football. Detroit was looking like they were slightly in control most of the way, and like you said, Sean McVay and his fiery Rams offense just came through like a freight train, in the final stretch. The Rams clinched the playoffs with this win. They're still tied with Seattle, and so next week's game is likely to determine which one of them will take the division and likely the 1 seed. But the Rams have clinched the playoffs, first team in the NFL to do it. Um, this looked like it was a really Pyrrhic victory for the Rams. Adams went down with an injury that looked really bad. Turns out it was a hamstring strain, and he might even be able to play this week. Puka went down with an injury that didn't look great. Thankfully, again, it was just mostly cramping, and he is expected to play this week.
Do you think
Amon-Ra St.
it's
Huh?
do you think it's too late for the Rams to finish last in the division underneath the Cardinals?
Man, that was as many great calls as I've been making this season. That was a really, really, really bad preseason call. I will own it. Really bad call by me.
That's cap.
Mea culpa. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked great. The Rams' defense is one of the best in the league. And so the way that the Lions were able to move the ball is very encouraging, given some of the offensive struggles they've had this year. One thing I just want to say about Puka real quick. This offseason, I think he really needs to work on resilience, not on athleticism. He's already got all the moves. He's already, just not only a physical beast, but also just really has a lot of kinesthetic intelligence. He needs to spend more time just working on kind of making his ligaments limber. Knowing how to take falls. Um, Almost like the Tua treatment back when Tua was good. It's really just kind of more about just learning to protect himself a little bit more, and just to make sure he doesn't get injured so much because he is such a weapon when he is healthy. But this is like what his sixth, seventh time that he's gone down, and been taken out of a game in like what 3 years. It's
They all
concerning.
Sean McVay's fault.
No, there were maybe two of them that I could squarely blame on McVay. But I'm saying, like, if you're running this team, and I don't even think this is something that McVay himself needs to know, the trainers and kind of the even just the team's GM should be looking and saying, Puka, maybe don't hit the weight room so much this off season. Just focus on making sure that your body is really resilient. Be Tom Brady.
Maybe you could just call him and give him some tips. You've probably run the gauntlet by now, right?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I said maybe you should call him and give him some tips.
Maybe, man. I like to think I know everything.
All right, next up, in a serious blow to their chances of winning the division, the Panthers lose to the Saints, which kind of proves what I said last week. Beat anyone, lose
Yeah,
to
we both
anyone.
said this. We both said this. They're a very good team that is capable of losing to literally anyone. Um, Big stat for me on this game, Rico Dowdle. They finally did rush him 16 times, which is a respectable amount in a loss, but he only had a 3 yard per carry average. So, this was less a case of bad game plan and more a case of just they didn't execute. Schaff, what a gutsy performance he had. I'm really liking what he does. Yeah. It's not always the prettiest, right? But just the way that he makes plays in the clutch is pretty damn impressive. And I don't think that the Saints are the same Aints that we were seeing in the first half of the season.
Okay, we'll see if he's the starter next season.
He better be. Like, it's malpractice if he's not.
I honestly thought Spencer Rattler in those last couple of weeks was finally starting to kind of. Yeah, I know he was garbage for 2 months, but those last 2 or 3 games, he was actually starting to ball.
It's off 2 months. Let's see what he does, right?
Well, I mean, they're going to give him the rest of the year, but I think
Yeah,
he's won what is Rattler won 2 games. He's won 2 games.
yeah, basically.
So yeah. All right. Next up, we got the Colts playing the Seahawks at home. The Phillip Rivers return game, and he almost had won this, which would have been just such a chef's kiss of a story. Just one last second field goal away from winning this game by the Seahawks, who were very poor on offense this game. There's a 6 field goals, no touchdowns by the Seahawks. Otherwise, a very strong offensive team and defensive.
Mhm.
What
Yeah,
happened
I
to
mean,
your number 2 team in the NFC or whatever the hell you said?
they looked a little bit vulnerable. I always say that they're capable of playing one absolutely lights out, incredible half of football, and they didn't play any incredible halves of football this game.
Especially
Smith
because the
Jigba looked.
Colts ain't known for their defense, so this is kind of extra weird.
That's very true. Yeah. 6 scores. Sometimes you just don't get it done in the end zone, in the red zone. Smith Jigba still looked incredible. Um, Yeah, I think Seattle just looked a little bit vulnerable in this one. Indy played a decent game. Rivers looked okay as a backup. I mean, certainly for your first start in 5 years, this was cool. I know you like your old man. I like Phillip Rivers too. This was a good story. But it wasn't like it was Rivers that was really keeping them hanging in this game. It was more their defense and Jonathan Taylor.
Well,
Um,
he's already been confirmed to get the start against the Niners next week on Monday Night Football.
Makes
I'm
sense. I mean,
I'm
Daniel Jones isn't going to be able to play.
I'm curious what he'll be able to do against a less elite defense.
Sure. I mean, that's fair to say. I mean, San Francisco's still a good defense. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool that Rivers was able to do this. At his age, coming off of not playing football for so long.
He got a touchdown in this game, so that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. I actually did get to see that live, and that was.
And I
But
hear didn't he rush? He rushed for 5 yards one play.
5 years off football, 5 yards of rush. Seattle looked like the better team in this game, in my opinion, and it really shouldn't have been as close as it was.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got the Red Hot Titans losing to the Niners over here. How did the Niners manage to just barely edge out this juggernaut?
So don't let the final score fool you. San Francisco got up by 4 scores at one point. Um, what I will say about Tennessee is when they were actually scoring in what was garbage time, it didn't look like San Francisco was just playing prevent or zone defense. It really looked like Tennessee, their receivers in particular, or making ridiculous grabs. So they did at least show flashes of genuine offense here. It just came way too late. Yeah, don't ever believe that this was a close game, but also don't ever believe that they are crap like the Raiders are crap.
All right,
And yeah,
next up, we got Sunday night. The Cowboys can only be described as choked to infinity and beyond in this one, giving up 34 points against J.J. McCarthy of all quarterbacks, someone that they would bench if their backup was not hurt. And yeah, he just like hasn't had like he's just been garbage the whole season or hurt. He comes to Dallas though, where every quarterback gets a perfect passer rating because our defense is just terrible. It was good for like 3 weeks, and then it went back to being terrible again. And this effectively eliminates the Cowboys unless the Eagles lose their last 3 games and the Cowboys win their next 3 games.
Yeah, you were coming on this video last week, yapping your mouth off about how the Cowboys are surely gonna win out. They're gonna win all four. It's gonna be easy.
They choked. They
Uh,
should have. This was an inferior opponent. They
oh
should
man,
have.
they didn't choke. They're
They
just
choked.
bad team. They also
Well, they're
choked. They're a
bad.
bad. I mean, is it possible to choke if you're just a bad team to start with? And that's what the Cowboys are. I'm sorry, man. I know you love them. They're a bad team.
They're not great,
Um,
but the last
they're
month
a
they've
good
been good.
offense, but they're a bad team.
Well,
They just the fact that you can beat the Commanders and the Giants twice a year doesn't make you a playoff competitor. I'm sorry. We'll get to my team next, but man, do the Cowboys stink. They made J.J. McCarthy look like vintage Peyton Manning. They really did. And it was, and that was with Justin Jefferson dropping balls. That was with J.J. McCarthy occasionally just throwing the ball in the wrong direction. And even then, the Cowboys could not take advantage of it. It was Addison that and T.J. Hawkins that led the Minnesota receiving corps. It wasn't even like a star like Jefferson burned you guys. Just an absolutely pathetic display by the Cowboys defense, by the Cowboys in general. And I think it's time to wave bye-bye to their playoff hopes. I think they're less than 1% now, and that 1% isn't gonna hit. As much as the Cowboys make weird things happen sometimes, man, did they stink. Dak didn't even look that good in this game, although he usually does.
yep. It was an
Um,
inferior opponent at home. We should have
yeah,
been able to beat them. This team can barely put up 20 points a game, and they dropped 34 on us. Yep. It was pathetic. You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
I'll even agree that Minnesota is probably inferior to Dallas, but just because Dallas can pull out freak wins every once in a while, nobody should ever think they're good, and everybody always thinks they're good. One really funny thing, as I was looking through my Google newsfeed today, one of the auto-generated AI slop blurbs claimed that Dallas won this game by 3 points with 29 sources. Um, so AI is even more delusional than you are about the Cowboys.
That was probably from some mad coping programmer.
Yeah, right. Somehow it decided that Dallas won this game by 3 points. Said that Aubrey made a 26-yard field goal, and somebody on the Cowboys made like a one-hand grab that contributed to their win.
Oh, both those things did happen. Jake
Oh, did he make a
Ferguson
20?
Jake
Yeah.
Ferguson did make a brilliant one-handed grab and made a huge gain. That's our tight end. And
Okay.
Aubrey did kick 4 of 6 field goals.
Was one of them 26 yards?
It might have been. I don't remember. It was a bunch. It
Okay.
might have been. Both those things happened.
I didn't
think.
remember that one, but yeah, like either way, it somehow put this together to decide that Dallas won the game by 3 points. I tried taking a screenshot, but as I tried to do that, it reloaded. But yeah, I had it up for about 15 minutes. I can confirm that it wasn't just me looking at it wrong. It was so funny how it was telling this confabulated story that never happened.
No.
I'd say there's probably Cowboys fans out there that are that delusional, though.
if we had won this by 3 points, it would also have been a disappointment. This should have been like a 6 to like 24 game because Minnesota has a good defense, or this should have been like a 30 to 40 win by the Cowboys or something. Something
All
like
right.
that.
I've had my fun crapping on your team. Let's talk about Pittsburgh, Miami.
All right, and the feel-good story of the week, as I mentioned last week,
Shut up.
as I referenced, it was a battle of love versus hate, and like all good things, love triumphed. And in reference to the 49ers game, don't let this score fool you. It was down by 4 possessions at one point, 3-28 at one point in this game, and as I mentioned, these Dolphins, it was the freezer burn as usual. Tua is now 0-6 in a game that has just a brisk of cold air apparently, and those were just 2 absolute pity scores. The Steelers went into the prevent nothing, and it was close, as you were joking about. It was a good defensive effort for like a quarter and a half. And then the Steelers just flipped the it's the Dolphins switch and just went on
minutes.
22
minutes of good play.
Yeah, I know. And just went on the it's the Dolphins switch and just went on 4 scoring drives. And I'm going to let you just run the gambit of that anger management slop. Man, tell us about Abe Phillips or whatever coach you were referencing.
Abe Phillips?
Philbin?
Joe Philbin?
Yeah, Philbin. Whatever.
It was like the whole fucking team turned into Joe Philbin. Mike McDaniel, Tua, every single player on our offense and defense turned into Joe Philbin and just didn't care to fucking win the game. Before I go on my rant, right, I'm going to give you one more chance to get out anything you want about this game. Make fun of me for believing in the team, make fun of my team, because I seriously never want to hear about this game ever again after we talk about it right now. So you got anything else?
It was just great to have Aaron beat these Dolphins. And yeah, that last quarter, I don't know why they had a drive where they ate all the clock and then had a drive where they started using...
I'll be the one talking about that.
So, yes, it was just good versus evil triumphs. And in accordance with our contract, I will never bring up this game again.
Yeah. Talk about the Dolphins being crappy in any other game, that's fine. This one... just want to burn it out of my frontal lobe. Slice it off if I have to. What an absolutely disgusting lack of effort in the fourth quarter by the Dolphins. Down by 25. You have the Dolphins yammering at Steelers players after every play, drawing unsportsmanlike conduct penalties to extend their drive, making substitutions between plays when you're down by 4 scores with 11 minutes left, letting the play clock go to 4 on almost every single down. They were scoring touchdowns in the fourth quarter on 6 plays, and those 6-play drives went for almost 4 minutes. 6 plays, almost 4 minutes. How do you do that?
Prevent nothing.
This was a do-or-die game. They were going to be... Let me calm down for a second, but they were going to be eliminated if they didn't win this game. This was absolute do or die. And they showed, making these touchdowns, that it was actually possible. It was within their realm of talent to do it. And instead, they took 38 seconds on every single play, sitting around, trying to figure out the play call, substituting players, not even spiking the ball after they would get a first down. 4 scores down with 11 minutes to go. You go into your 1-minute offense. Those 6 plays should have taken 1 minute tops. Force the Steelers to punt the ball, get the ball back, do it again. Sure, it's still a very, very unlikely chance to win the game, but you do not have another option. Your season's over if you don't do it. And I like Mike McDaniel as a coach. I think generally he's been a good game manager. I think he gets his players fired up. He has smart, creative plays most of the time. This was even Joe Philbin coaching the Dolphins, our worst coach in Dolphins history. I don't think ever had this much of a desire to not win a game. if you're going to do that, don't even bother sending your players out. Once your 4 scores down, just sit on the ball every play, because then at least Minka Fitzpatrick wouldn't have gotten.
They were cold.
Yeah, I really wish that Mike McDaniel had come out in the post-game press conference and been asked, why was the ball moving so slowly in the fourth quarter? I wish he would have just said, "Guys, I got brain freeze. I didn't know what I was doing out there, and my brain froze. I'm sorry, it wasn't working." That would have been the only justifiable excuse for what he was doing. Just don't bother playing football if you're not going to try to win the game. Just sit on the damn football. I am so just incensed at my favorite franchise right now. And like, if the fans care more about winning the game than the coach or the players do, something is fucking wrong. That's all I gotta say.
This
And,
was
and yes,
against the
Aaron
Jets.
Rodgers.
Yeah, that's why he's really mad. If this was like the Jets, he'd only be half as mad because it was evil Aaron Rodgers and my
Only 3
Dolphins
games I
did
wanted to
kill him.
win this season. Only 3 games I really cared about were the 2 Jets games and this one.
The 2 Jets game. We can't be the last. Yeah.
And honestly, knowing what I know now, I would have given away both Jets games to win this.
It's just shocking they won like 4 in a row before this, and they actually were still in the hunt. That's the most shocking thing.
I mean, they were playing with effort and fire, and then it poofed. It evaporated. There was not enough heat in the air to sustain their fire, apparently. And freaking like, yes, Aaron Rodgers did look good in this, but that was Miami making them look good. Worse teams than Miami have shown us in the last few weeks that Aaron Rodgers really is a mediocre at best, like game manager type quarterback. But man, did Miami make him look.
I think this game shows if like Achan doesn't have like 200 scrimmage yards, their offense is like just kaput.
They only handed the ball to Achan like 8 or 9 times.
Yeah, but when he got it, he was like stuffed in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage.
In the first half, he was running really well.
No.
They only gave it to him a couple times in the second half, and yeah, they were stuffing in the second half, which is a little surprising. But don't believe the hype with Aaron Rodgers looking good, because yes, I'll admit he actually did look very good in this game.
I don't
even
think
like some of the
I don't
stuff that
think
he
the
said.
team's good. I think they're maybe just good enough to win the division, and that's probably it.
I hope they don't, but if they will, they're probably one and done. But man, was this an all-time just lack of effort by Miami? That bothers me so much more than the fact that they let the first 3 touchdowns up in a row. Like, that was just them, not being able to execute to some extent on second and third down. The 4th touchdown only happened because the stupid Miami guy decided he was going to like stand over the receiver after he made a play.
I got some McRibs for this game too.
Just eat all the McRibs you want, man. Like
I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know how it was going to
shitting on
go.
Miami you've been doing this season, this game justified it. Okay. You were right. You were right.
I've honestly been a little up on the Dolphins at certain
God
points in the
damn
season.
It.
Oh. All right. It'll never be
so furious about a football game in my life.
All right. Bury your fury. The game will now go to the forbidden shelf and never be referenced once again.
That sounds good. Our props were hilariously wrong this week. You had TJ Watt concussing Tua. TJ Watt wasn't even able to play.
I know. I saw that at the beginning. I didn't even know he had like a punctured lung or something.
Yeah. You also had Garrett breaking the sack record. He did not manage to do that. But my prop was just as bad. I had Geno with 2+ touchdowns, 4+ turnovers, and he ended up being held out by a shoulder and back injury.
That's
which
right.
we didn't know when we recorded. Kenny Pickett in his place had no touchdowns and 1 turnover. So definitely wasn't the same mix of good and bad that I thought it would be.
Well, I didn't do our research that week.
Yeah, I don't think Watt or Gino were ruled out at that point, but if they were, men, we're dopes.
Man, Tua was under a lot of pressure that game. I think if he played, I had a really good shot, man.
No, don't even say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
That's right. The game doesn't exist.
Yeah, any other thoughts or feelings? I know we spent a long time in week 15, but man, did we have a lot to say about our team.
I
Um,
mean, the only thing we didn't talk about is Micah Parson also went out with an ACL for the Packers. And then,
mhm.
yeah, you mentioned Devontae Adams went out, but maybe not that bad.
Yeah, do you still have the Rams as the best team in the league, or do you think it's someone else?
I think they're the best team in the NFC.
And you've got the Bills as the best team in the AFC, and you think the Bills are better than the Rams?
No,
Or
I think
Sam?
no, I think the Rams are better than the Bills, but I think the Bills are the
Yeah.
best team in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair take. I've got the Patriots, but it's paper thin margin. I just think that the Rams really unless they have an awful day, I think they can just beat anybody.
I agree.
All right. And speaking of the Rams, that's our I think our Thursday game this week. Rams Seahawks.
Yep. Moving on
All
to week
right.
16 with our predictions. Yep, in 2 days or so, we got the Rams at Seattle. The Rams won,
Mhm.
just barely won this the first time around. It was actually one of Stafford's only bad games this season and Sam Darnold's worst game of the season where he turned it over 4 times. But both these teams are so good, I really just don't even know what to expect for this. I guess the
Yeah.
first game was a home game for the Rams. So.
With the Rams injuries, I feel like that evens it out even more. Then again, the Seahawks did look a little bit vulnerable this week. I'm gonna just stick with my instinct and my love for the Rams team and franchise. And I'm gonna say that I don't think there's a team in the league that can consistently beat the Rams right now. I could absolutely see the Seahawks proving me wrong. Again, I think they're the second best team in the entire NFL. I've got the Rams for this one, buddy.
I think the Rams are going to win because I think Darnold's been playing much worse the second half of the season than the first half of the season. But I got to
Hmm.
pick the Seahawks because I need the points.
Oh, you're gonna take the Seahawks for your pick.
I mean, it's not that crazy, right?
It's not that crazy, but you could always come back in the playoffs. Are you sure you want to do this if you think the Rams are gonna win?
Bro, I picked the Raiders last week. Give me the Seahawks.
You saw how that worked for you. All right, we've got our first split decision here then.
All right, next up,
Good
we've
luck.
got 2 games on Saturday. First up, we've got the Eagles at Washington. Give me the Redskins.
Okay, I mean, I
And
don't think that's as crazy of a pick as you think it might
not
be
because
because,
I'm delusional for the Cowboys still getting in the playoffs, just because I need the points, and the Redskins have played their opponents pretty close, actually.
well, at least you're trying to come back in the fourth quarter, unlike the Miami Dolphins.
We
Um,
don't talk about that.
that's true. Good point. Um, all right. Look, I have MD word privilege. You're just not allowed to talk about
Oh, that's right. You have to reference it for me to comment. That's right. You're right.
it. But yeah, NFC East teams always play down to other NFC East teams, just to make the game exciting. I have no doubt that Philly will do that here. I just don't think the Commanders are going to be able to get quite over the line, so I can't take Washington. Did I say the Phillies just now?
I don't know, but
I don't
thanks
think the
for the
Command.
free point.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia, and I should have confidence in this pick, but man, do I think they're gonna play down to the Commanders.
Yep, they probably will. Next up, Saturday night, we got the rematch from 2 weeks ago, and it was a close game between the Packers. This one's at home for Chicago, though, and I expect this to be another toss-up and close game, honestly.
Yeah, this is a great game. I'd say the Packers are a slightly better team, but the Chicago Bears are very good and playing at home. These are two teams that tend to play better at home than on the road, I believe. Definitely the Packers. And so I am going to go with the Bears. Do you know what the
Aw.
exact implications are for the playoffs of this game? I mean, obviously, both of these teams are likely, you know, are likely playoff,
Well, if the Bears
appearance.
win, they almost clinch the division, basically.
Even over the Lions too.
Well, the Lions have a worse record than the Packers do.
Right, that's true. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then what if the Packers win? What does that look like?
uh, I guess they take the division, or at least they, at the moment, they'll take the lead in the division for sweeping the Bears.
Oh, so this is just the stakes could not be higher for 14. Very cool. What do you think about this game?
Well, I thought you were going to pick the Packers because I wanted to pick the Bears because I'm going for the Bears revenge of the Bears.
Yeah,
I
just
think
pick
this
whoever you
time they'll
actually
get
think is
it
going
done. Yeah, I think they'll get it done this time.
to. All
But I
right.
guess
So you both.
I have to pick the Packers now, unfortunately.
Oh, all right. You got to go first from now on if you keep doing
Well,
this.
I was gonna pick the Bears. You picked the.
You just pick the Bears, man.
Okay, I'll pick the Bears.
All right. You can't
All
just
right.
we've got to give a little bit of real football. You can't just like always be trying to get the point.
I was gonna pick the Bears.
Yeah, so pick the Bears.
Okay, next up we've got the Bucks at the Panthers, the first of their two games within 3 weeks, and this is all where the division's gonna come down to. And I just, as much as Baker's been sliding, I just have to believe that he'll come through in the clutch where it counts most, even though he's probably got like 3 injuries he's nursing. So Baker over Bryce Young.
You've got Baker. All right. Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. Both of these teams are on little bits of slides. Carolina obviously coming off an embarrassing performance last week, but the team has been looking up. I'm going to take the Panthers. I'll be a home.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Bills at Cleveland. And I might have taken the Raiders and the Browns against Chicago and the Eagles. But this one, I just don't even feel like there's a path. I felt like in those games there was a path, whether that was the Browns defense against like Caleb, who I don't think is that great, or the Eagles just continuing to collapse. I don't think there's a path this week, so I am going to be sticking with Buffalo.
Yeah, this would be true desperation if you took the Cleveland Browns over the Bills in this one. I've got the Bills as well.
All right, now at a morning game on Sunday, we got the Chargers
Oh,
playing the
Dallas will be
Cowboys at
mourning, all
home.
right.
And I think the most cowboy thing to do is they're going to turn around and beat a better team than the Vikings. And then it won't even really matter because they choked the last two games they needed to win, essentially. I think, yeah, that's the most Dallas thing they'll do is they'll light up this Chargers team, or at least they'll just beat them. And it won't really matter too much, you know?
Oh man, you're more delusional than the AI
I'm
is.
not delusional. I
Uh,
think it's a very Cowboys thing to do.
Chargers have not only been a very good team this season, they've been clutch in a way that I think sometimes they haven't been in the past. I really like the way that the Chargers defense in particular is playing football this season. You know who doesn't have a good defense? Dallas Cowboys.
Well,
So
you
I'm
know who
taking
doesn't
the
have a good
Chargers.
offense? The Chargers. Of course, that didn't matter
I,
against the Vikings.
I thought you were going to say Miami.
Well, that too.
Yeah. I'm taking the Chargers all the way. I don't know whether it'll be close, but I feel really confident in the pick.
That's fair.
All right. Next, we've got Toilet Bowl 16.
Well, let me wait a minute. The Dolphins. Okay, you're right. All right, we got the Jets, best defense in the league secretly, and then we got the Saints, no longer the Aints apparently. So is this Tyrod Taylor versus Tyler Shock or whatever the hell his name is? Truly a race to the bottom. Hmm.
Do you believe in the aftershock after what he pulled out last week?
I just think the Saints have like more weapons, honestly. You know, I just think that the Jets have such an insanely bad culture. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
just
mean,
gotta
they
pick.
truly do.
I guess I just have to pick the Saints just because
They truly do.
they've
Like,
been good before. I don't know.
man, you just can't be good in New York City these days. Most of this season, I would have played. I would have picked the Jets, but after the way that they got absolutely embarrassed last week against the Jaguars, and after the gutsy performance that New Orleans was able to pull out, I'm going with New Orleans as well. So I think we're both in the same decision on that one.
Next up, we got the Vikings at New York. And after J.J. McCarthy's supreme display of his prodigious talents, how can I pick against him? He's clearly the second coming of Tom Brady.
That's really funny. I will pick against a crappy NFC East team every time here. I'm taking the Vikings as well. I don't think it's gonna look quite as good as it did last week.
All right, I got the Giants.
All right, I'll let you do that. You want the Giants?
I think the Giants should have like 6 more wins, honestly, than they do.
I I know that they've been like making a lot of games close and sometimes looking good. I just think that they just don't have a winning culture either. It's the same thing that you said for the Jets.
All right, next we got these just terrible, defeated Chiefs team playing against these Titans, man. Cam Ward, he is going to feast. He's going to get his 3rd win of the season. I think the Chiefs, they might just rest everyone and their grandmother this game and the rest of the season.
Well, they have nothing to rest for, right?
Well, I don't even know if they'll bother to even send Kelsey out in his wheelchair for this game.
Yes, that's possible, but I think they're going to play everyone, right? Even if a player gets injured, unless it's an ACL or a complicated MCL, right? They'll be back next year.
Give me the Titans.
What?
Give
You're
me the
taking
Titans.
Well, Mahomes not playing. It's Gardner Minshew that's
I
expected to
know.
start at quarterback.
He is a Titan at the
I don't.
position, but I'm going with Cam Ward.
All right. Who do you want me to take? I'll take whoever you want me to take in this one. Do you want me to take Kansas City or Tennessee?
You can take the Chiefs if you still believe in them.
I don't believe in them, but I'll give you the chance to get the point for this. I'll take the Chiefs.
All right, in another race to the bottom, we've got the Bengals now coming to Miami. Joe Burrow's had 2 really poor games in the last couple. But the Dolphins, can they bounce back to their winning ways against this Bengals defense that you say can't tackle anyone, so they need to give you a call?
They already did give me a call. I told them I was too good for them. Yeah, I mean, Miami will find a way to let Cincinnati score, that's for sure. At the same time, I don't think Cincinnati has a snowball's chance in hell of stopping HN. It's not going to be played in cold weather because it's in Miami. So at least Mike McDaniel's brain will work.
What if there's a cold front?
And the cold front in in South Florida is like it's 50 degrees there.
What's the threshold when stuff stops
Well,
working?
according to all the infographics put up against how Tua has never won a game in cold weather, they were saying 40 degrees.
Okay, it's good then. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one. I'm not as confident as I'd like to be, and I do think that Burrow will have a little bit of a rebound game here. I just don't think that Cincinnati has a chance to tackle a supreme talent like Devon Achane.
Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, that's fair.
This could easily be some like 40-40 game because these teams are both so bad, especially the Bengals. I could see the Dolphins winning this like 40-32 or something. But
yeah, I don't think our defense is going to give up 32, and I don't think our offense is going to score 40. But looking forward to your prop on this game.
All right, next up on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. We got the Falcons at the Cardinals.
It is on Sunday, yeah.
We got another head scratcher here. I'm going to go with my boy Kirk. Just keeps on rolling. I don't care about the points for this one. My boy Kirk just needs to finish strong.
We are splitting decisions like crazy here. This is number 8 because I've got the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are a little better than they look, a little better than their record indicates, and that's because they're playing in such a strong division. London's not playing in a bad division, but yeah, give me the Cardinals, and I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is going to be a 20-16 type of game.
Hmm. All right, next up we've got the Jags in Denver, and these Jaguars are apparently dangerous now. But the Broncos just kind of manhandled the Packers more or less. So
Mm-hmm.
how will the man, the myth, the legend, Trevor Lawrence handle this game?
I think he's going to handle it pretty well, probably make a couple mistakes, but also make a couple great plays that turn into unlikely touchdowns. I think this one's going to come in down to who can really turn their scoring opportunities into touchdowns rather than field goals. Even though Jacksonville did it last week against the Jets every single time, I still feel like at home in Mile High, Denver is looking like the better option to win this one. So even though I've got a lot of respect for what the Jags are doing, I'm going to take the Bronx.
Yeah, I don't care if he just scored 6 touchdowns. When I think of adversity, I don't think of Trevor Lawrence rising to the occasion. So give me the
Yeah.
Broncos at home with that
Much as you
defense.
much as you want the point, you can't bring yourself to give a vote of confidence to Trevor Lawrence like
Well,
that.
that might be the last touchdowns he scores the rest of the season, honestly.
That would be quite a prop.
Would surprise me. He's so inconsistent.
All right. Next, we've got Pittsburgh and Detroit, and I'm just gonna get it right here and say it. I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to come back to earth. Amon-Ra St. Brown is gonna look great, and give me the Detroit Lions all day, all night in this one, baby.
Yeah, it's a very obvious pick. Obviously, there's no chance the Steelers' defense is going to be able to hold up against this Lions offense. And I expect the Steelers to be able to put up some points because the Lions' defense is also bad. But yeah, there's just no way in hell the Steelers' defense can hold up against this Lions' offense. I thought the same thing against the Colts, and they ended up stopping the Colts like dead in their tracks when Daniel Jones was still playing somehow. But I don't think they're going to be able to
Well, actually,
repeat
the
that.
AI says Daniel Jones won that game with 11 touchdowns.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm picking the Lions. Just doesn't seem like possible for the Steelers to beat them at home.
I'm a little surprised, but I like the pick. Yeah. All right. Next, we've got the worst team in the league against the Red Hot Texans.
Well, if we thought the Kenny Pickett or Gino was stymied by the Eagles defense,
Mhm.
I don't want to know. They're going to find a way to get negative points somehow in the NFL rulebook in this game. Yeah,
Rule 17. Yeah.
there's just no reason to even waste your time on this one.
Let's not even consider picking the Raiders. Texans all the way. Next.
All right, now we got the Patriots playing the Ravens at home, and if this was like the Ravens of yesteryear, this would probably be a really close game. But the
Hmm.
Patriots have been just smoking all of these bad teams, and I expect them to just thoroughly handle the Ravens, even if Lamar plays somewhat decent.
Yeah, it would be very surprising to see the Patriots give up multiple scores to the Ravens with how well they've been playing.
No, I bet the
Uh,
Ravens still score like 20. I just think the Patriots will do a lot better.
it could happen. Yeah, it could happen, but I just don't see it happening real consistently. And yeah, the Patriots have shown that even in bad games they can do enough to at least eclipse 20 points. I've got the Patriots as well.
And then finally on Monday night, 3 days before Christmas, we have the now number one geezer in the league. Aaron's been demoted. Philip Rivers at home against the Niners. I think this will be a marginally easier game for him, but it's hard to imagine them being able to put up enough points with him under center. But I just want to believe, you know? I
Yeah, they
want to.
still got JT. They're at home. I think that the 49ers are very good, and I am not going to pick against them here. I do think that this is an intriguing game, though. I'm really going to be looking forward to watching it. Rivers looks younger than Aaron Rodgers. He is already playing better than Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, don't give
and
me that shit.
yeah, and and I think it only goes up from here, right? He had like 1 week to practice, if that, with his team. Now he's got another week under his belt. I think the operation's going to look smoother. That being said, San Francisco, right? Still a very good D, very competent offense. I've got San Francisco by a hair here.
All right. Give me the Colts in the miraculous upset of the Geezer.
You got it. That would be fun to watch, honestly.
I don't
I,
believe
I'm
it,
not. I'm
really.
not. I'm not. I'm not saying I'm not going to be rooting for that to happen, especially if I 8-0 you in the first day of football. All right, finally, prop bets. I have Lamar Jackson to get 0 total touchdowns this week. I think it's probably more likely he gets one, but let's make it a spicy prop. I've got 0 passing or rushing touchdowns for Lamar, and that's in him playing at least 3 quarters. I'm going to say if he gets injured early, my prop doesn't even win.
I'm going to go Cam Ward of the Titans, man. He's going
Oh
to
man,
have
how
the.
many times have you fucking picked on Cam Ward with your prop bet? Do something original.
I'm not picking on him. I'm saying he's going to have his best game of the
Oh right, because they're
season.
playing the Chiefs. Okay, go
He's
on.
going to get, I don't know if he's gotten 300 passing yards before, but he's going to get it in this game. He's going to have 3 touchdowns, no picks, but he's going to get sacked. I don't know how many times, but he's going to do those other things.
3 touchdowns and no picks and 300 yards.
That's right, man.
So you're saying that Cam Ward is going to be putting up numbers as if he was throwing to Hines Ward.
Exactly.
All right, that's a fun prop, given how much you've shit on the guy, up until here.
All right. I think this was already our longest video in history, not
I mean,
including League
yeah.
of Legends crapola.
Oh yeah, remember that patch 1410
We
was
had
it?
some 3 hour ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But honestly, just like a lot of fun and frustrating stuff to talk about from week 15. So I think we justified the length at least. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I think that just about wraps it all up.
All right, just have fun, enjoy football in week 16, be a good person, and just remember, if you don't know somebody's name, don't hate them. That's all I gotta say, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.